Hello and welcome to Late Night EU Wave. Hello and welcome to Late Night.
We've made it. How are we doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. My name is Nate. I'm here with Michaela, and we're jumping right into top 8.
That's true. We're going right to top 8. And what are we looking at today? It seems to be a Raging Bolt versus Bennett Gardevoir matchup in top 16. Whew.
Who would have thought?
Spice. Have you seen this Bennett list before?
I have not.
All right, let's see what they're cooking. User Open Agility has... Ooh. Okay, it's a Gardevoir list, right? So picture your classic standard wonderful Gardevoir list with a 4 Shuppet, 3 Bennett, and then 1 Bennett, 1 Prizer, along with Radiant Alakazam, a Gravity Gemstone, and otherwise fairly standard Gardevoir cards. And I was wrong, actually. 3 Luminous Energy to trigger 2 Monkey Dory, and a Spiritomb. So this is an interesting combo.
This is teched out to make some people have a bad time, it seems like.
Yeah, I would imagine if your opponent puts down a Rotom, you're just sort of smiling. This has I would expect a decent control matchup. I know Radiant Alakazam is used so that Bennett can trap something in the active, and then you scoot the damage to all of their bench targets and win the game. I don't see it in play, but because of the 1 prize Bennett that can remove itself from the bench, that could drop down at literally any time. So I don't think that'll be a problem for this Bolt player because it really only takes a couple energy to get going, and Sada will do most of that work for you. So nothing's going to get trapped active. Maybe a Greninja if it's placed, but I don't expect that.
Right,
So
and the
otherwise, it
item
seems like
locking
really,
doesn't
yeah.
seem super duper hard for Raging Bolt to get around either, because Sada's does a lot of the heavy lifting.
Correct.
They do
There's a
have to
Pheasant
be
down as
slightly careful with where and when their energies are, since the retrievals are going to be shut off by the item lock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although, it's not like Raging Bolt runs a small number of energies, you know? There's maybe about 3 Lightning, 3 Fighting, and then 6 or 7 Grass, so that's a total of almost 11 or 12, depending on your list counts. So you could make do without the retrieval as long as Sada puts in the work, which she does. I mean, have you seen her laboratory? It's massive.
A big swing here from Open Agility, 180 onto that Ogre Pawn.
That's using the second attack. I believe it's called Everlasting Darkness. Is that correct?
That seems to be the first one. The
Yeah.
item lock is Darkness. The big attack based on trainer cards in hand is Poltergeist. Yeah.
Aw. 0 for 1. Check, we make that number any higher.
Or perhaps was hoping to get the knockout there with 1 more trainer card, but doesn't actually find it.
No, and especially after the shuffle.
Now this looks like this could be a knockout in return here from our Raging Bolt player.
Okay, we've got enough energy in hand to do it. It's going to be a matter of choosing which ones to discard, because there's a second Bennett on the bench. Another item lock could put in some work. Okay, 1 from the active, 1 from the bench, 2 from Ogre Pawn, and that will deal 280. That's enough for a 2-prize knockout. 3-6. Gardevoir specializes at those last-minute recoveries, though.
That is true. However, Open Agility's list doesn't quite have the high damage numbers that we're used to seeing from pure Gardevoir builds. So it could be a little tricky to actually hit the 240 for the knockout here on this Raging Bolt.
Correct. No Drifloon. Drifloon. My goodness, it's over.
There's no Drifloon either. So
yeah, there's no Drifloon. I think that card's fun. I just don't think it's good. But there's neither of those cards in the house.
There we saw that one Lost Origin Bayonet to get a supporter back.
Okay. Going for Iono. Good time to do so. Oh! That's enough to knock out that Mew if it stays active, but I'm expecting to see Bennett. So it's not enough to knock out Bennett. We're going to need to draw a Sada off the top deck or off the Teal Dance. Okay, there's Gardevoir. Luminous Energy down.
The double monkey, 190 plus 60 is 250, which would be enough.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on how many psychics are in the discard, there could be a knockout here with Gardevoir EX.
I think we're going to see a knockout with this Mew, because Mew can discard those energy and then Gardevoir can put them straight back.
That also works, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate using the Monkey Dory attack, except they have a switch card in hand, so the switch card's not going to help you.
30 damage, moves on to the Ogre Pawn, gets that 2-prize knockout.
Cleared. Here's the Ralts. Good. Gotta have backup Ralts.
And the final 30 onto active, that sets up for a 210 from these 3 Psychic Energies with the Bellowing Thunder.
That's perfect. Okay, a couple more energy going down, just to be safe. Interesting use of a Mew EX, I'd say.
Yeah, every part of this Mew EX card is just so strong. It's just every single thing that it can do is very, very good. The restart ability, incredible. The free retreat cost, great. And then copying any attack of the active oftentimes can do a lot of work.
Yeah, people are rethinking every card. I mean, people talking about the new Duskull debate of which Duskull do you use just because of Mew EX. So that card shapes decks even if you're not playing it. Always a good sign. Flip the script.
You get
Script
3 more
has been
cards.
flipped.
No
No
Sada,
Sada,
though.
but there is a Pal Pad and a Teal Dance, so you could conceivably Pal Pad it back in and get it, but it's going to be tough.
One more look. It's perhaps 3 or 4 out of 20 cards. Not the best odds.
We'll see. Okay, there's the Teal Dance, and no,
Catcher.
it's a catcher. That's not ideal.
Not the worst if you flip a heads on a catcher, though. It might save you a turn or more.
Normally it does, but with Gardevoir being
I
able
suppose,
to put
yeah.
those energy right back on, I mean, you could argue they shouldn't have put the extra energy on the Mew so that it didn't. Ooh, is that a concede? Ooh,
Yeah, with
best
no way
of
to
3
take out
time
the Mew.
server.
It feels like the genome hacking coming in would knock out on the next turn.
Yep.
The Bayonet list takes the first game.
Item lock. It's very powerful. Game 2, and this is Tiazi, a frequent flyer in our Top Cut division, so most of you should recognize this name if you've tuned into our streams before, but if you haven't, you're getting the deep lore, which is that this person is frequently in Top Cuts.
This is also a very largely EU top 16, which we don't always see in these waves.
That's true. What's our metagame looking like tonight?
There is, let's see. It's kind of spread out again. We have a pure Gardevoir, we have this Bayonet Gardevoir. Those are 2. There's a couple Roaring Moons, there's a couple Lugias, there's a couple Dragapults, there's a couple Terrapagos, Dusknoir, and a couple Raging Bolts. So it's really like 2s of everything almost.
Yeah. The most frequently played thing is Turbo Roaring Moon, but only with 3 players, so that's not, that's not dominance. What do you think about this new Terrapagos Dusknoir list that's started to gain momentum recently?
It certainly seems to be very strong. I think for the next few events, it's going to be who can use Dusknoir the most, the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like a deck that's primed to do that as much as it can. So,
yeah. A lot of people were kind of skeptical on the initial Terrapagos lists that were coming out. The ones with Palkia were not performing to expectations. So the fact that Terrapagos is up, live, and kicking is certainly good for that archetype because the set just came out. But we're moving into game 2 of this set, and I see a Squawkabilly start. That's not ideal in this stally kind of Banette matchup. What do you think?
I think it's fine because the Raging Bolt just wants to attack on the first turn, and Squawkabilly helps you get there. You have the switch card in hand even, so I am not worried about the Squawk at all.
That's good. That's good. Personally, having seen this Banette deck in action, I'm worried about a item lock, trap it in the active scenario, where you can't attach energy, you're out of Sada, and it's just sitting there wasting everyone's time, getting hit with confusion damage maybe, or poison, or not poison. Radiant Alakazam, it's kind of like chip damage.
It
Would be
feels
my
like
concern.
poison, right?
It feels like it's so similar.
2 ticks at a
It's
time.
almost like Verbank City Gym's back.
Shu doesn't want the Poke Gear, gets the Teal Dance Ogre Pawn instead.
Interesting choice not to take the gear.
They have the Sod
'Cause
already in hand, so that's what
Yeah,
you're going to be
you're
using this
right.
turn anyway.
I was gonna say, like, well, they could use the Nest Ball, they could use the Sada, and then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute, you could just hold the Nest Ball, get.
Now, hopefully they have Greninja in deck. Well, there's no way to get
Yeah, but if
energies
they-
into the discard right now.
No, but you could attach to the Squawkabilly and retreat. Or you could just do that. Oh, the Squawkabilly will put them in the discard. Look at us go.
We have to draw a Sada, though.
Yeah, it's never fun. And that's another reason you don't want to see the gears go away, because that's your outs. But
in the stop, hoping for a gear. Doesn't find one. Finds shoes. There's one more chance.
Shoes could get a gear. Shoes could get a Sada. Do we have it? That, you have... I mean... Aw.
Yeah, no, it's
I was
not
gonna say,
do
maybe
it.
you could... Yeah. I mean, you Teal Dance for it, you have the grass in hand, but then your bench is just full of Ogrepon. Who wants that?
Missing the attack here does feel pretty bad now, because
Absolutely.
double shop it on the bench, Bayonet can start getting set up and get the item lock going, and then it's harder to find those Sadas if you can't play Poke Gears. So.
Exactly. That Sada count looked a little low in that deck search. Burst Roar?
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I would Burst
You're losing
Roar
your ones,
two items.
the switch cards, though, which is... that is scary.
It's a Prime Catcher. Well, I mean, like, you could afford to lose the switch cards if you weren't going to be able to play them anyway, you know? Definitely doesn't feel good, but... Let's see. Pokestop? Oh,
Huge.
free item Pokestop. Gardevoir players are eating gourmet this evening.
So much
Buddy Buddy
nicer
coffees.
than Tiazi's was.
That Monkey Dory art is just gorgeous. They put the cutest arts on these cards. Nest Ball. Another Monkey Dory. It's a 2-2 and 2 sort of bench setup today.
That seems
Perfectly
ideal.
balanced,
Yeah.
as all things should be.
Now I was looking for the Bayonet EXs, which maybe we haven't found yet. There's the one.
There's one. Still need to retreat out. Iono. That could help you find one.
Got a fresh 6.
Okay, that's workable. No Sada, but you could Iono and raw draw into the fighting type if you get item locked. Well, that's from the Raging Bolt perspective. I'm
Right.
simply being a Raging Bolt enjoyer right now.
It's the easier way to live your life.
It's the easier way. It's not necessarily the right way. Last week, there was a Gardevoir deck that just... I was being a hater the entire time, and it cleared. And I'm sitting at the end of the stream going, what? 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 For the, next hour. Here we are. Another Raging Bolt. That field is looking pretty good. No item lock means we'll be able to get the energy manually using the Earthen Vessel.
The problem here is, well...
Teal Dance.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Because we have Boss in hand. I was going to say that leaving the Monkey Dory in the active is pretty rough because you really don't want to take that one prize knockout to begin with, but having Boss in hand. I owned into Boss. Feels pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, Teal Dance, to see if we could just get one Sada, please. Nope, Prime Catcher. That was just shuffled back in. Good thing we used Vessel to redo the deck. There's the boss. There's the Banette. I don't believe she'll be staying in her condominium timeshare any longer. She'll be going to the discard.
4 energy, 280 damage. We'll take the knockout.
Mm-hmm. Interesting discard choice for those of you who are Bolt enjoyers. Choosing to leave a grass energy on that Ogrepon means next turn it could be used as a backup attacker instead of getting rid of the energy on the active, which could get knocked out. So it's a more conservative play that makes sure that no matter what happens to your active, you'll be able to play the next turn.
Yeah, and of course they have the basic lightning in hand to use the Bellowing Thunder if they need to next turn.
Correct. If it doesn't get shuffled away.
Promoting the shop it here with a Psychic Energy makes me think there's another Bayonet coming, hopefully.
There's an Iono. And there's 3 Banette plus the 1 prize are in the deck, so decent odds. Decent odds. There's a Curlia, that'll help you draw a little more. 23 card Gardevoir deck. Those are, for 3 out of those 60 cards, it's good odds we get another Banette.
Yeah, both of these decks just churning through their whole deck so fast.
Oh yeah. I don't see the Banette coming down. Could this be cursed?
It's not so bad if it gets knocked out again, because setting the Raging Bolt on odd prizes is what you want anyway.
Correct. Now, being
if
6
you
to
need
4
another
is
turn.
not your peak position. But
That's true. They also could.
good news
They could do the flip attack and hope for an item lock that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta just never get punished. Just flip heads. That's it. It's so simple. Win every game. Could even do that turn 1 going second. Ultra Ball.
I guess the Bayonet, of course, if they want.
Okay. Let's see what our 2 discards are. Taking a good old time to think about this one. So it might not just be 2 psychic energy. It might be having a debate between some resources. Mew and Artisan. So Pokestop will stay alive, and Mew will not get to do all the cool things it did last match. Don't know if you'll need that, though.
It seemed like a good tool to have, so it might be shuffled back in here with the Super Rod, and it was.
There it is. Yep. With the Gardevoir player having only 1 prize on the board, and this is a hypothetical question, is there a world where they just risk it for the flip?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Because even on Iona
Yeah.
to 4, it's pretty likely that Raging Bolt gets 2 attacks. Like it's what the deck is designed to do: is attack over and over again.
Mm-hmm. The net is down. A Poltergeist would do 200. Ooh, counter catcher. Okay, that'll trap the other one in the active, assuming there's no Sada. And unfortunately, the entirety of that hand is item cards. So unless there's a top deck.
Unplayable.
Oh.
No
Even
actions
Pokestop won't help
available.
you. Oh. Pokestop could at most discard some energy for you. Everything else it does is awful.
Yeah, and at this point, you're looking for Sadas, so Pokestopping away the Sadas potentially is very, very scary.
Oof.
Now, Gardevoir Bayonet gets to fill up the discard with more Psychic and keep the item lock going.
Mm-hmm. There's no Radiant Alakazam on the board to make this item lock terminal, but a single use of the Banette that grabs supporters will free up that space for the Radiant Alakazam. I don't think we'll see that long-term kind of plan, though. I expect him to get a knockout in the next couple of turns.
We do draw the Sada, so we have 3 more draws at the energy, which we do find.
Perfect.
That's enough here for a Bellwing Thunder to take out this Bayonet.
Correct, and bring it to 6 and 2. Definitely not ideal.
A little daunting as the Bayonet player.
Indeed. There goes that grass energy, and there goes both active energy. We're going to need a 4th one. There it is. 280. That will end her whole career.
Any Sadas from the prizes? No.
Nope. Gear should at least get you there, though. There's 2 gear, 15 cards in deck. There's a chance of a 3rd Banette. I just don't...
Oh, they drew 1 from the 3 cards as well. I didn't see that. There is the backup Sada for next turn.
Yeah, although I would expect an Iono here, just as a general rule. At 60 damage, a Miracle Force from Gardevoir EX will take the knockout and make 310 be the highest number you can hit. But there's also a world in which you don't do that and instead keep only 1 Predator on the board. Seems like that's not what's happening. We're probably going to get a Monkey Dory knockout on this Ogerpon. So Monkey Dory will move the extra 30. Gardevoir will clean up with Miracle Force. We all go home happy.
I wonder if
Except for
you
Ogerpon.
wait another turn, though. Because leaving the Ogerpon inactive is really rough for the Raging Bolt player. You can take your
Particularly
time.
after that
You can do the
Iono.
190 and put the 30 damage elsewhere and save yourself another
True.
turn.
Okay, Banette is on the field, but it's on the bench. We're not gonna be item locking.
We need to start doing some damage here as the Bayonet player, so... Well,
No,
no Miracle
we need
Forces
to be doing some
today.
item locking here as the Banette player, because the minute they put down Greninja, counter catcher, lock Greninja. The minute they don't put down Greninja, maybe no cards. I mean, the Banette player is going for as many of these do nothing turns as possible. Not achieving them this game. We got a couple last game, and we did get at least one earlier with the Pokestop turn. I just don't know. Adrenabrain is going to scoot that damage off. Where's it going to go? That Lunas energy was down so early in the game. It was very easy to miss it.
Onto
What's going on with
Squawk.
Squawkabilly? Squawk and Seethe. And there it is, item lock. You're gonna need a top deck Asada to get out of this. That's Greninja. That's not
does
what we
not
need to
do
see.
it.
No.
I'm a little worried about how much time the Bayonet player has, though. The deck is
That's
very
true.
thin. We've used 2 Ionas already. We've
And a
used the
Super
1
Rod.
rod. Yeah.
I mean, 6 turns, you could take 3 knockouts in 6 turns. But they've got to be perfect. Okay, there's a Grass Energy.
Teal
Are we gonna
Dance
see Teal
it.
Dance? There's a school of thought where you'd use the Greninja instead, but ooh, nope. The other benefit of doing the Teal Dance is you get to use it to retreat and draw cards. So you exchange 1 card draw for being able to retreat. But also, you can't get locked with the Greninja, because that could get locked very easily right now.
And now thinking about a future Poltergeist, we know that there are 3 trainers currently in hand, which would be 180 damage.
Is it 760?
Yeah.
I thought it was 750. Did Banette just get stronger? Like, did Banette go through a training arc? I think that's what happened. There's a focus stop. That's not what we need off the top deck. Do you think they see the deck out?
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
have
they have
2 more.
to.
They have 2 more Ionas.
Whew.
This
Iona's not
is-
going to help you if you have 6 prizes left, though. You need to start getting that down.
It helps a little bit.
It could help more if you just didn't have all those pesky Pokemon in your active.
Now the problem for Bayonet is we're running out of damage for Adrena Brain. We're going to put at least 1 more Psychic here to move some damage over with the Monkey Dory.
Mm-hmm. There's 1, there's 2. You know, I was talking about Radiant Alakazam earlier. Meanwhile, Monkey Dory, same card, but like slightly different card.
Palpad doesn't help at all.
That's not going to be usable. You know, it could get you more Sada if you could play it. Keyword, if.
How do you think this Everlasting Darkness manifests? How is it stopping this trainer from using items? They just can't see
you
the
just
items
can't
they have?
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, your menu screen is just going bloop, 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 bloop as you scroll. You can't tell what the items were selected. Gardevoir, 20 damage down. We've now started stacking energy a little bit, so there could be a situation where there's just no energy left to attack with because they're all trapped on the Banette, but that's unlikely. And since most of the discussed here is catcher-based, I don't think that'll be a problem either. Another
Yeah, we're
couple
trying to
damage
take
on the
all
Squawk.
6 prizes with this Bayonet.
And I don't blame them. That seems to be their major plan. In every matchup.
Use doesn't help.
These are my walk-in shoes.
Let's see, there's 6 Psychic in the list for open agility.
Okay, there are 3 attached, so at least half of them are there. There is a Luminous, but you can't use the ability on it, so it's not going anywhere. Gravity Gemstone is also going to be relevant here. Or, I think I said it's wrong, but the tool is going to decrease that retreat cost.
It is Gravity Gemstone, you're right.
It is Gravity Gemstone. Oh yeah, we got there. It's another Luminous Energy down, but there's just no damage to move. So this is why you can't just attack with Ogerpon. You know, is there a world where you retreat and you use Burst Roar? Your hand is full of items.
To get
'Cause I think you
the
did.
Poltergeist off. And maybe you would potentially draw into more though, in drawing 6. So
I mean, you've got what 6 in hand already. It can't get worse.
like the Cypher Maniac, so they know exactly what they're going to draw next turn.
And there's a Raging Bolt. That's not going to help.
Does not help.
Does not help. There's some thought before they go to pass this turn though. I think they're thinking about the Burst Roar play. Nope. They're not
Well, we
doing
can't retreat yet because of the gemstone. Right?
it. Does Gravity Gemstone increase?
Increases
Ogrepon's
retreat cost of both active Pokemon by 1 colorless.
Do I need to reread this card? Hold on.
It's anti-floatstone, basically.
I'm sorry. Did they cook? Whew. Gravity Gemstone.
Now we have the Radiant
Gravity.
Alakazam. This saves
Yeah.
the 30 damage. It's not going to knock out the Ogerpon, so we can keep it trapped here for another turn at least.
Correct. I'm picturing the SpongeBob noise of Plankton going correct at the top of his volume from the Band Geeks episode.
Of course.
Everlasting Darkness, Gravity Gemstone. These are some cool names. We got some good cards this year.
Prime Catcher is a great card, but not when you can't play items.
Nope. All right, one card left in deck. Are we going to see the Iono?
We have to Iona this turn.
We either need to take 6 prizes, which is not happening, or we need a strategy. Okay, there's a boss. That's not an Iono. This is living on the edge. I guess you boss Miracle Force, and then
Spoons. Well, okay, Spoons will take out the Ogerpon, so we get to draw 2 prizes.
Yep. If you could put, you know what? Retreating, they could put another 60 damage down on the Gardevoir. That'll clean up Squawkabilly, and Gardevoir's Miracle Force will take the last knockout. There it is.
Perfectly played. All of the cards in the
Down
deck required. Full 6 prize
down
turn.
to the last one. Whew. And that will clear it up and secure the bag for our Gardevoir Banette player. That's such a weird sentence to say. Banette, in my meta, it's more likely than you think.
Turns out when decks end up being half items or more, it's pretty good to turn off those items.
That's true. That's true. It may not be the same as Trash Lance Garbodor for those of you who are the real OGs, but Banette does some work, and that's the work it just did. Taking 6 prizes a turn. Do you have Banette insurance? I feel like I need Banette insurance just watching this.
I don't think anybody does.
Whew.
All right, but yeah, that is Open Agility taking a 2-0, moving on into top 8.
Very solid work. Let's take a look at that wider Let's take a look at that wider field, see where Banette is going to go next. Places, I suspect.
It seems like they're in a pretty good spot.
Oh yeah, I believe that. The next matchup for the Banette player is likely this Lugia Archeops list, the one that was the first top 16 matchup to advance to top 8.
Lugia, another
and both
deck
players
which
are Polish.
kind of needs its items, at least in the early turns.
Absolutely. If you're that Lugia player and you can't capture an Aroma, what do you even do?
But we do have, it seems like a little bit of a break while we get the next wave set up. Any thoughts from this first match here?
I didn't expect that. The whole time I'm going, where are they going to get their win from? There's nothing happening. And then all of a sudden, 6 prizes in a turn.
They had the
Classic
full plan.
Banette behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see how far this Banette goes. I do like the card. I'm a fan of control elements, and this is definitely a control element. So, but we'll be right back with some top 8 matches once they all get situated. So don't go anywhere.
If you're leaving, don't.
All right.